Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notice of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Yes, Honorable Bet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I also rise to seek response as per the ruling of the Speaker on the issue of VCD teachers that they were deceased and they were supposed to be replaced. And the Speaker gave direction that 7 days, which actually it materializes today. So I seek response on the same.
Chairman Education. I can't see the chairman for education, but the vice chair, Honorable Sangutei, is here.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm requesting that we wait for the chair because he has substantive inquiry. He has a substantive answer concerning that matter. I can't give it now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, the vice chair. So it is ordered that the committee members, with the assistance of the vice chair, ensure that the chair brings this statement during the afternoon session. Next order.
Order number 8, motion.
Honorable Kagoni.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to move a motion that this House adopts the report on the Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on receiver of revenue of statements for the year ending 30th June 2022. The County Government of Nandi laid on this table on 17th June 2026. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the County Public Accounts Committee and pursuant to the provisions of Standing Orders 188, Section 2, it is my pleasant privilege and honor to present before this House the report on the County Public Investments and Account Committee on the consideration of the county, the Auditor General report on the receiver of revenue of statements for the year ending 30th June 2022. Honorable Speaker, the mandate of the committee derives its mandate from the Standing Order 188, Section 2 of the County Assembly of Nandi, which provides that the County Public Accounts Committee shall be responsible for the examining of the accounts, showing the appropriations of the sum voted by the County Assembly to meet the public expenditure, and of such other accounts laid before the County Assembly as the committee may think fit. Honorable Speaker, the primary mandate of the committee is thus to oversight the expenditure of the public accounts or public funds by the County Government of Nandi entities to ensure that value for money and adherence to the government financial regulations and procedures, and that the County Government of Nandi funds are prudently and effectively utilized. The committee exercises its mandate based on the annual and special audit reports prepared by the Kenya National Audit Office. We have the membership of the committee, and let me just acknowledge this, the committee wishes to thank the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk of the County Assembly for the support the two offices have always extended to the committee. It is through this support that the committee has been able to effectively fulfill its legal mandate. The committee is largely indebted to all members of the county, the accounting officers, and the county executive and its team for their cooperation, and all stakeholders who participated and gave input towards the development of this report. More so, the committee extends its gratitude to the committee clerks and the legal for the tireless support they accorded the committee during this entire process. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is therefore my pleasant duty on behalf of the Public Accounts Committee to table this report and recommend it to the House for adoption. We have the membership of the committee, Honorable Speaker, and they have duly signed. The guiding principles is the Constitution of Kenya that directs us to Article 226, Section 2, and the principle to direct personal liability, also Article 226, Section 5, gives the committee that mandate. We also have the Public Accounts Act of 2015. Honorable Speaker.
Order. Is a member making a call and is distracting the chairman? Please. Majani, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Public Finance Management Act of 2012 and the Public Audit Act of 2015, which are the guiding principles. Honorable Speaker, the Auditor General responsibility. The Office of the Auditor General is tasked with the responsibility to express its opinion on financial statements with respect to Section 4.8 of the Public Audit Act of 2015, and thereafter submit the report as envisioned in Article 229, Section 7 of the 2010 Constitution, which says that the audit report shall be submitted to the Parliament or relevant county assembly. The Office of the Auditor General is required to comply with the international standards of supreme audit institutions, when conducting its audits. These standards require the compliance with ethical requirements and that the audit be performed to obtain reasonable assurance about whether financial statements are free from material misstatements. In the audit report submitted to the County Assembly, the matters mentioned were identified through tests considered necessary for the purposes of the audit. It is therefore possible that other matters or weaknesses might not have been identified. The committee proceedings. Honorable Speaker, the committee held sittings where it received both written and oral evidence from the accounting officers of the County Executive of Nandi Department of Trade on audit queries raised by the Audit General, and the minutes of these sittings are attached. During the meeting on 30th July 2025, the accounting officer of CCM responsible for finance and accounting planning, CPA Alfred Gatt, was accompanied by relevant department officers. One, Mrs. Priska Chepchirchir, the Chief Officer for Finance, Mr. Nicholas Biwot, the Receiver of Revenue, and Japheth Limo, who is the Fund Manager. In gathering and scrutiny of the evidence, the committee was guided by existing directive and practices of the operations of the Nandi County Assembly, derived from the 2010 Constitution of Kenya, the Acts of National Assembly, the Standing Order of the County Assembly of Nandi, its usages, convention, practices, and historical rulings derived from the chair. The issues on the audit report. Number one, Honorable Speaker, was unsupported National Hospital Insurance Fund receipts. The statement of receipts or disbursement of the year ending 30 June 2022 reflects a total county-owned source revenue amount of 287,403,322, which includes hospital fees, collections amounting to 116,723,119, as detailed in Note 8 of the revenue statements provided. The amount includes receipts from the NHIF, which was about 99,851,000. However, records of claims made and reimbursement received, claims due and claims rejected, and explanation from the rejection were not provided. In circumstances, Honorable Speaker, the accuracy and the completeness of the NHIF collections of 99,851 million could not be confirmed. The accounting officer submissions. The CCM responded that the claims made was about 61,698,000. Claims due was 5,962,000, and reimbursement received was 55,736,000. That claims rejected were due to missing medical documents attached to it. Hence, collection received during the financial year 2021 and 2022 were about 69,056,000, and arrears amounting to about 30,974,000. He submitted that Annexure 1 attached highlighted claims made, claims due, reimbursement received, capitation, claims rejected, and the bank statements. Honorable Speaker, the committee observation. 1, the committee noted that the annexures had not been provided, indicating a weak audit trail. This limited verification reported NHIF revenue and raises concerns over the reliability of the financial reporting. 2, there were inconsistencies in the figures presented. NHIF reports receipts was about 99,851,000. Reimbursement received as per the response of the CEC was about 55,736,000. Claims total collection, Honorable Speaker, including arrears, was about 69,056,000, plus the 30,974,000. These figures are not clearly reconciled, indicating possible misstatements or double counting of the revenue. And 3, the committee holds that the existing of rejected claims due to missing documentation points to inefficiencies in claim preparation and submission processes, potentially leading to revenue loss. The committee recommendation as follows, Honorable Speaker, that the accounting officer should, within 30 days of adoption of this report by the House, provide all annexures, including initially reference of the claims schedules, reimbursement, rejected claims, and bank statements, and ensure that the documents are complete, verifiable, and properly authenticated. The submission should be made to the County Assembly and to the Office of the Auditor General to facilitate closure of this audit issue, pursuant to the provisions of Section 3.1 of the Public Audit Act of 2015. Failure to comply should attract appropriate sanctions in line with the Public Finance Management Act. And 2, that the issue remains unresolved, subject to the conclusion or recommendation 1 above. 2, unsupported Kiborgok fee. Honorable Speaker, receipts and disbursement reflects total receipts of about 287,403,322. This amount includes hire of county assets of about 19,462,000, as it was indicated in Note 11 to the revenue statements, which includes Kiborgok Tea Farm, proceeds of amount 11,594,502,000. However, review of documents revealed that the county had no records showing the volume of tea leaves picked in the entire financial year, which could be independently verified against payments received. In addition, revenue received for May and June 2022 from a newly contracted factory was significantly higher than the previous receipts from the outgoing managing factory. In the circumstances, Honorable Speaker, the accuracy, the completeness of the Kiborgok fee of about 11,594,502 could not be confirmed. The accounting officer responds. The CEC responded that managing agent contracted did not adopt best management practices, leading to low production and poor performance during the stated period. The county took restorative measures to by completely sourcing for a better managing agent, resulting to improve productivity and income by the newly contracted agent. He attached a summary of tea collections and advice pay slip from the Cheput Tea Factory. Committee observations. Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that the management has not explained why there were no records showing the volume of tea collected. Without such primary data, it is impossible to validate whether the reported revenue corresponds with the actual production levels. 2, the significant increase in revenue from the newly contracted factory just for May and June of 2022 compared to the earlier periods was not supported by 1, verified production data, comparative yield analysis, and pricing or contractual terms. This, Honorable Speaker, raises concerns over data reliability and possible manipulation or inconsistencies in the reporting. The committee recommendations that the accounting officer should within 30 days after adoption of this report by this House, pursuant to the provisions of Section 3.1 of the Public Audit Act 2015. 1, provide complete and verifiable records on the tea production, including daily, weekly, or even monthly green leaf collection reports. 2, submit factory delivery notes, weighbridge records, and payment advice slips supporting all proceeds received. And 3, ensure all documents are authenticated and submitted to the Oversighting Committee and the Office of the Auditor General to facilitate closure of this audit. So also this, one Honorable Speaker, it is not closed. 3, non-collection and unsupported of arrears of revenue. Honorable Speaker, the statement of arrears of revenue reflects revenue arrears at the beginning of the year of Kenya shillings 126,999,287. Nil arrears received during the year additions of about 99,703,000. And a total arrears of the close of the year to 226,702,000. However, no records or documents were provided to support the opening balance of arrears of revenue and additional revenue during the year, and no explanations were provided to the failure to collect any amount on the arrears brought forward during that year. In the circumstances, the accuracy, completeness, validity of the arrears of revenue, balance of 26,702,000 could not be confirmed. The accounting officer submissions. Honorable Speaker, the CCM submitted that it is the first time of adoption of the receiver of revenue template, and that the preparation of a separate revenue statements, there was no clear guidance on what was to be reported as arrears in revenue, since the financial statements were prepared on cash basis. The committee observation, the committee found that the response was satisfactory because at that beginning of the year of 2022, there was a new template that was provided from the COB on how receiver of revenue should be recorded. That issue was marked resolved. 4, unconfirmed on general revenue, sewer fee charges. The statements of receipt and disbursement of the year under review reflects a total county-owned source revenue collection of about 287 million. Review of the documents provided revealed that the records were maintained solely in a ledger book, which has not been updated for over 4 years to capture the new connections over the years. Also, the county executive did not maintain an electronic record of the customers connected to the sewer line in charge in the county. In addition, the criteria rates were haphazardly applied as some of the premises were misclassified as hotels, bars, and restaurants, being classified as single and rental houses instead of hospitality and establishment as provided under Section 6 of the Nandi County Financial Act of 2021. Subsequently, there were different revenue collections methods for sewer fees, including M-Pesa, pay bill account deposit, and use of POS machines, and no centralized receipting or accounting for it. The submission from the CEC. He explained that small hotels and bars were charged based on the number of houses, i.e. single houses for Kenya shillings 200. And a restaurant under the category of hospitality, these charges were still based on the local authority charges. The new rates contained in the Nandi County Financial Act have already been communicated to the clients and invoices sent with the new rates. Henceforth, the charges and classification will be based on the Finance Act of 2021. He added that the Finance Act of 2021 was gazetted on 4th June 2021, after the invoices had been issued to the clients using the defunct local authority charges, since most of the invoices or notices are issued at the beginning of the year. That the record of connections maintained in the ledger was supposed to be captured in the collection system, but as earlier explained, the modules had crashed, and the process of resolving them is complete and updated is underway. Also, that the payments to the county government of Nandi is only made through the county pay bill or direct bank deposit. Sewage collections are fully integrated with the up-to-turn system from the National Bank. That the central sitting is done by the revenue system. He provided Annex 4, which entails the Kapsabet municipality sewage connection, a sample of the M-Pesa, bank statements, and a copy of the ledger book. The committee observation. The committee finds that the response not satisfactory due to the following observation. 1, The failure to update the sewer connections ledger for over 4 years represents a serious lapse in revenue management and governance. This creates significant uncertainty regarding the completeness and accuracy of billed and collected revenue. 2, the lack of electronic register of sewer connections indicates that the county does not have credible and verifiable customer base, undermining billing accuracy and revenue forecasting. 3, the existence of multiple uncoordinated revenue collection channels without a centralized reconciliation mechanism exposes the county to revenue leakages, fraud risk, and incomplete accounting of collections. And 4, the continued use of outdated local authority rates, despite the enactment of the Finance Act, reflects poor implementation of policy changes and weak enforcement mechanism. The committee recommends the following, Honorable Speaker, that within 60 days from the date of adoption of this report, the accounting officer should, 1, develop and submit a complete and verifiable electronic database, this is the customer registry, of all sewer connections, including customer classifications, locations, and applicable tariff. 2, update the existing ledger and ensure all new and existing connections for the past 4 years are captured accurately. 3, fully operationalize an integrated revenue management system covering all payment claims, if it's M-Pesa, bank deposit, or the POS machine, and ensure all collections are received centrally and reconciled daily. That the accounting officer should submit this oversight committee and a copy to the Office of the Auditor General, a progress report within 60 days from the date of this adoption of this report, directed, as directed in recommendation 1, pursuant to the provisions of section 3.1 of the Public Account Audit Act of 2015. That this matter shall remain unresolved, Honorable Speaker, until all records are updated, verified, and systems fully operationalized. Honorable Speaker, the accounting officer submitted that at the time of the audit, there was no appointment of the receiver of revenue. Nevertheless, he was later appointed as per attached letter of appointment, which was given on Annexure 5 on the Appointment Gazette. Two, Honorable Speaker, will go to the report of the effectiveness of the internal controls. One is the unmonitored street parking fees. The statement of receipts and disbursement reflects parking fees revenue amounting to about 24,815,000 as disclosed in Note 5 of the revenue statements. However, management did not maintain a register of parking lots available at the municipality. Further, the reserve parking registry, indicating the number of reserve parking slots within the county, was not provided for review. Therefore, it is not possible to estimate how much revenue is expected to be realized from parking fees. In the circumstances, the validity, efficiency, and effectiveness of parking fees could not be confirmed. The accounting officer submissions. He submitted that the management within municipality is in the process of updating all parking slots and maintain a register of all parking slots within the municipality. The reserve parking is mainly done by corporate institutions within the Kapsabet town, and the register of all reserve slots was attached in Annexure 4 for reserve parking. The committee observation, the committee found no evidence of registered parking slots in the annexure. So the annexure provided, which was for reserve parking, was not on the list. So our recommendations, Honorable Speaker, that the accounting officer should be within 60 days after adoption of this report by this House, develop and submit a complete and verified register of all parking slots, both open and reserved, including location, category, and applicable charges. 2, that to ensure the register is authenticated and submitted to this oversight committee and the Office of the Auditor General for verification within the timeline directed in recommendation 1, pursuant to the provisions of section 3.1 of the Public Account Audit. Weakness in revenue collection controls. Honorable Speaker, review of the documents provided revealed that there were different revenue collections methods for slaughter fees within Kapsabet Slaughterhouse using M-Pesa, Paybill as preferred method, and the Nandi Hills Slaughterhouse making using of POS machine. All these streams do not have a centralized receipting record. Additionally, Honorable Speaker, whereas M-Pesa Pay Bill was in use in Kapsabet, clients made cash payments directly to the attendant, who in turn deposited the money at the end of the day to the M-Pesa Pay Bill. Further, no receipts was issued to the clients at the slaughterhouse. Therefore, it is not possible to determine whether all the revenue collected was accounted for, or also contrary to Section 6.3, Section 1 and B of the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, which require that adequate safeguards exist and applied for the prompt collection of the proper accounting for all the county government revenue and public money related to the county developments of agencies. And also the official receipts are issued for all monies paid to the county government. Honorable Speaker,
Order, members. Order. Majority Leader, order.
in the circumstances, Honorable Speaker, the county government risks losing revenue as the safeguards in existence are not adequate.
Proceed,
Protection,
Chairman.
Honorable Speaker. I'm having
Proceed. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I'm the chair for oversight in public accounts. So I'm giving the way it is.
No problem. Can you proceed, Chairman?
The accounting officer, the submissions, Honorable Speaker. He submitted that the county government used 3 modes of payment. 1, M-Pesa, bank, and cash through the POS legend. That all payments made through these modes are centrally received through the revenue collection system. All payments made through the 3 modes of payments are accounted for, since all payments made can be traced through M-Pesa and bank statement respectively. The POS issue receipt instantly to clients, and end-of-day reports are deposited to bank directly as per the Y and Z report. They are also accountable through the said statements. Kapsabet used M-Pesa due to the scarcity of the POS machine within Kapsabet, but all collections are accounted for as per attached banking receipts, the M-Pesa transaction from the Kapsabet slaughter. Also, that the central receipting is done by the revenue system. Further, that the collection from the slaughter is now fully integrated in the Upturn system from National Bank with payments strictly through M-Pesa Pay Bill. That Annexure 4 details sample of the receipts and M-Pesa transaction. Honorable Speaker, the committee, pursuant to its mandate, under Standing Order 188, Section 2, has exhaustively examined the Auditor General report on the receiver of revenue of statements for the financial year ending 30th June 2022, together with the evidence tendered by the accounting officer. The committee observes that despite some progress in addressing several audit queries, significant weakness persists in revenue management, internal controls, record keeping, and compliance with the applicable legal and regulatory frameworks. In particular, unresolved issues relating to unsupported revenue, inadequate documentation, absence of verifiable records, and weak revenue control systems continue to undermine the credibility, accuracy, and completeness of the financial statements. These shortcomings, Honorable Speaker, are in contravention of the provisions of Article 201 and Article 226 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, and other relevant statutory requirements governing prudent and accountable use of public resources. Honorable Speaker, in line with the committee findings and recommendations, the accounting officer is hereby directed to implement all the recommendations contained in this report strictly within the prescribed timelines as follows. 1, within 30 days from the date of adoption of this report, to submit all outstanding supporting documents, reconciliations, and evidence related to unresolved audit issues. 2, within 60 days of the date of this report, once adopted in this House, to fully implement corrective measures, including establishment, updating, and operationalization of revenue management systems, registers, and controls. Further, the accounting officer shall submit a detailed compliance and progress report to this committee, and a copy to be submitted to the Office of the Auditor General within stipulated timelines in accordance with Section 3.1 of the Public Audit Act of 2015. Honorable Speaker, the committee emphasized that failure to comply with these directives shall attract appropriate sanctions, including evocations of the provisions of personal liability as stipulated under Article 226, Section 5 of the Constitution of 2010, Constitution of Kenya 2010, and the Public Finance Management Act of 2012. For avoidance of doubt, the committee reiterates that no audit query shall be considered resolved until full implementation and recommendation is verified and confirmed by the Office of the Auditor General. Honorable Speaker, the committee therefore recommends this report to this House for adoption and argues that the county executive to fully and timely compliance with the directives herein. We also have the annexures that were attached, the minutes, the oath of affirmation, and the minutes of the sitting. Honorable Speaker, I want to call upon my Vice Chair, Maindi, to second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I will wish to second the report. And also, first and foremost, let me thank the chair, our able chair, and the entire committee of PAC. This is a report that we scrutinized very well. We've aired to the House what's going on in all the streams of the revenue, all the way. First and foremost is that, Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a report, but that when there is no controls in all the streams of revenue that you have highlighted, this is where the county will keep on losing the revenue that could have been used to benefit the great people of this county. One thing that I'm happy is that through the resolutions of the committee is that we've agreed unanimously that this report will be kept pending until all the recommendations that we have made will be obliged by the respective authority. I beg to support the report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable members, I now propose that this House adopts the report on Public Accounts Committee on report of the Auditor General on receiver of revenue statements for the year ended 30th June 2022, County Government of Nandi, laid on the table of the House on 17th June 2026. Honorable Matata.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity so that I can also air my views concerning the report that has just been moved by the Honorable Kagoni. First, Honorable Speaker, I want to appreciate and thank the Honorable Chair for Public Accounts Committee for the report, for a well comprehensive report that he has actually tabled. Honorable Speaker, going by the findings of the Auditor General and by the committee recommendation, you find that the Honorable Chair and the committee has actually done a very wonderful job and has actually also showcased some of the revenue leakages, Honorable Chair, that is making Nandi County to lose a lot of revenue, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, yesterday I rose on an issue that we have a lot of revenue leakages in terms of parking fee. I was put into task, Honorable Speaker, to prove that until a point whereby I had to withdraw that statement. But I thank God, Honorable Speaker, that in the report today that the Honorable Chair of PAC has just moved, the evidence are glaring, Honorable Speaker. The evidence are glaring to a point whereby even the revenue officers, it is indicated that they are sent the money directly by the owners of the vehicles so that they can collect and deposit to a certain account. How sure are we, Honorable Speaker, that the same amount that is received is deposited into the bank accounts, Honorable Speaker? So, Honorable Speaker, the revenue leakages are glaring, Honorable Speaker. There is the other report on the Kaimosi issue. We have no internal controls on the revenue collection, Honorable Speaker. So it is my humble submission that let us support this report and let the relevant, the responsible officers implement the recommendations by the Auditor General and the recommendations that have been given by the committee so that we work together and try to seal the revenue leakages and increase the revenue to fund more projects. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support the report.
Okay, Honorable Maina.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. May I start by thanking the the chairman. As he says, he's the chair of oversight. I would probably like to remind him that it's the House that has got that role of oversight. But, Honorable Speaker, this sounds good. It sounds good. Hearing it sounds good. But I have a small issue, Honorable Speaker, on the time. It's talking about 2022. And that, in fact, Honorable Speaker, for avoidance of doubt, we were not members of this House at that time. So I have some serious misgivings about whether this is just supposed to be for some fun. Because, so are we addressing ourselves to what is happening today or 2022? Is the leakages, are the leakages that my friend, Honorable Matata, is referring to current? Or they were leaking then? And if they were leaking then, is it the position of this committee that even today, because you know, Honorable Speaker, I'm looking at a situation where the auditor raised a question with respect to 2022. And I want to imagine that as per the rules of this House, you only limit yourself, the committee would have limited themselves to the queries raised by the Auditor General. So, yes, I think this is a good report. It's something to go by, but I would love it, Honorable Speaker, since we are here on a full-time basis, and this committee is a standing one. It's always there, Honorable Speaker. Probably, even as we give them 60 days and some other time, which sounds like a slap in the wrist, could this committee and even probably this House take action immediately? Because, Honorable Speaker, if there is the possibility for having public money being received by somebody through their phone, if that is what is happening right now, if, say, Honorable Speaker, right now, somebody has just received money today public money in their phone or any other way, even including cash, then I think that really is a very serious indictment on us. We could easily say, I mean, it could be, the case can be made, Honorable Speaker, that we are sleeping in the job. So I would like to suggest, Honorable Speaker, that even as we adopt this report, nothing stops this House. Nothing stops this House at all. Nothing stops the chairman and the committee from proceeding and finding out the status today. Honorable Speaker, I support this report and request that more requires to be done completely, and it has to be a bit in a, I mean, we have to move quickly. I've just seen here one of a colleague has just indicated that the timelines, that probably the chair of IBC has given the timelines. We should be aware about time. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, thank you. I hope the chairman, you've taken note of that. Because Chair, I know you've been dealing with a backlog. So maybe, Chair, you can have a right of reply because we have, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. A mandate of the committee, especially on matters Auditor General report, is actually confined to what the Auditor General findings are done. So the committee does not have the mandate to go dig deep. And then the financial reports from the Auditor General comes after the financial year has ended. So when this financial year ended, for example, Honorable Speaker, at the end of the month, the auditors will be here in the county, maybe in the month of August, to look at the previous year. And then by the end of January, they'll come up with a report for the last financial year. So usually you're doing a backlog or backstepping on the reports, but the assessments are there. Nevertheless, one of the members have clearly stated that this report is for the year 2022. Maybe, because I've not read the report, the current report for 2025 of the revenue statements, maybe the executive have made some changes which can actually be verified by the Department of Finance and the Committee of Finance. They can actually just go and look through it. But I want to urge this out to adopt this report because the recommendations are there, and once they're done, we'll be able to clear and resolve these issues. Honorable Speaker, the issues will not be resolved by the committee or the Auditor General until they provide this documentation. So even if we are passed in 2027 or 2028 and this report was not cleared, the report will still be there, not cleared by the Auditor General or the committee. So it doesn't matter the timeline. The issues need to be cleared, and the receipts and everything need to be provided, especially when you're talking about money and accounts. You cannot just clear or wash them away. Proof needs to be provided on how money comes in and money goes out, and actually be documented for these issues to be resolved. So the issues will remain resolved. Even if they don't provide the issues, the next House will have to go through the issues and resolve them. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman. I now put the question that this House adopts report of Public Accounts Committee or on report of the Auditor General on receiver of revenue statements for the year ended 30th June 2022, County Government of Nandi, laid on the table of the House on 17th June 2026. Will those of similar opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will those of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion.
Honorable Kagoni.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to move a motion that this House adopts a report on the Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on receiver of revenue of statements for the year ending 30 June 2023, County Government of Nandi, laid on this table on the 17th of June 2026. Honorable Speaker, because I've just finished dealing with the 2022, allow me a leeway to just pass through some of the mandates, guiding principles, and the acknowledgement of the Speaker and the clerks, because they know they're doing this work. I've just read it. Our mandate and the guiding principles with the Financial Act, and dive in to the Auditor General's findings on the report of the 2023. Honorable Speaker, number one was lack of valuation role. There was no valuation roles in those times of the year 2023. And I think this House I don't know if we passed the valuation roles that was accepted, Honorable Speaker. The accuracy of the street parking fees also continued on the financial year 2023, which was already talked about on the 2022 report. The CCM responded that the county is in the process of developing reserved parking barrier numbers and location before the end of the year, marking of the street parking. The committee holds that the lack of proper mapping and numbering of parking slots undermines the effective monitoring and enforcement and planning of parking services and may lead to efficiencies on the revenue mobilization. Honorable Speaker, the same recommendations which was on 2022 is also on the 2023 report. Number three was the accuracy of the cash and the cash equivalent. Honorable Speaker, statements of assets and liabilities reflects a cash and the cash equivalent balance of about 5,533,000, which includes about 2,622,000 held in commercial banks account. However, the cash book and the bank reconciliation for the year 2023, June, was not provided for review. The accounting office submission, he submitted the cash book and bank reconciliation for especially the ATC Kaimosi was in Annex 1, which he provided in the meeting. The committee holds that management subsequently submitted the cash book and bank balance as enclosure 1. The delay in providing these documents suggests weakness in record management on audit preparedness. So the committee recommends that the accounting officer in subsequent following years should ensure that cash books are properly maintained and updated daily, and that the bank reconciliations are prepared monthly and made readily available for audit review to avoid unfavorable audit opinion. And two, having reviewed the annexes attached, which was provided for the cash balances in audit, the committee found satisfactory and recommends that the issue marked resolved for the Auditor General. Honorable Speaker, we had issues of the unresolved prior year matters, which is now the year of the 2022 we just talked about. The review of the progress, follow-up, and prior year audit recommendations reveal that several issues were raised under the report of the financial statements, report of lawfulness and effectiveness in the use of public resources, and report of effectiveness of internal controls, risk management, and governance. However, the issues remained unresolved, contrary to the section 14921 of the Public Finance Management Act of 2022, which required accounting officer designate for the county government entities to try and resolve any issues resulting from an audit that remain outstanding. The submission of the Waziri, he submitted that all issues raised during the financial year 2021 and 2022 were well addressed and resolved to within stipulated timeline, and herefore annexed in the amended financial statements, which was in page 20. Honorable Speaker, the committee holds that although management indicated the issues for 2021 and 2022 were addressed and reflected in amended financial statements, audit verification is required to confirm this. One, corrective actions were fully implemented. The issues were conclusively resolved, which was not, and there was no recurrence in the current period under review. So as the committee, we did not resolve, or at the Auditor General level, those issues were not resolved. So the committee recommends that within 60 days after the adoption of this report, that the House and the Office of the Auditor General should review and submitted amended financial statements to verify whether the prior year audit issues have indeed been fully and effectively resolved. This verification will inform whether the matters can be considered for closure or require further follow-up in the subsequent financial years in the Audit General. Honorable Speaker, the presentation of the financial statements. Review of the revenue statements revealed that the Institution of Public Accounts of Kenya, which is ISPAC, membership number of the fund accountant, who signed the financial statements was not disclosed. In circumstances, the financial statements are not in format prescribed by the public sector accounting standards and revised in June 2023 and do not comply with APSAs. The accounting officer submission stated that the issue was rectified in the amended financial statements. So they had to provide another amendment, financial statements, to close the issue. The committee found the response satisfactory since the issue did not reoccur in the subsequent financial years. Honorable Speaker, the auditor conclusion is that based on the procedures performed in accordance with Section 7 of the Public Audit Act of 2015, no matters came to the attention to suggest that the internal control, risk management, and governance principles were effective. The committee notes with appreciation that unqualified conclusions on internal controls, risk management, and governance. However, management should focus on closing identified gaps and reinforcing control system to maintain and further strengthen the overall governance framework. Honorable Speaker, the committee, having examined the report of the Auditor General on the receiver of revenue of the year ending 30 June 2023, together with the submissions by the accounting officers, conclude that while progress has been made in certain areas, significant weakness persistent in revenue administration, budgetary performance, and audit resolution mechanism. Key audit issues, including lack of valuation role, weak control measures over parking revenue, underperformance of revenue collection, and unresolved prior year audit matters indicate gaps in the internal controls, planning, and accountability frameworks. Although some corrective actions have been initiated by management, these efforts remain incomplete and require strict monitoring to ensure full implementation and sustainability. The committee further notes that positive assurance provided by the Auditor General on the effectiveness of internal controls, risk management, and governance. However, this should not overshadow the need to address specific weakness identified in this report, as this may undermine the overall control environment if left unresolved. The committee emphasized that all recommendations issued in this report are time-bound and must be implemented within the stipulated timelines. In particular, actions required implementation within 60 days must strictly to adhere to, and progress reported to the committee and to the Auditor General as required by the law. Medium-term interventions, that is within 3 to 6 months, should be executed without delay or to strengthen revenue system and financial management practices. Continuous and long-term measures must be institutionalized to ensure sustained improvement in governance and accountability. Failure to comply, Honorable Speaker, with these timelines will be interpreted as non-compliance with the committee directives and statutory obligations and may affect further actions, including summoning of the responsible officers and enforcement of accountability provisions under the relevant law. Honorable Speaker, this committee recommends this report to the House for adoption and urges the county executive to ensure full and timely compliance with the directive herein. There was the annexures that attached the minutes of the meeting, the sittings, the oath of affirmation from the executive, and I want to also to call my vice chair to second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this chance to contribute. First and foremost, let me appreciate the efforts done by the committee, led by our EPO chair, Honorable Hassan. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a report of subsequent year, 2023. And we have seen some things highlighted through the report, that there are some good progress for some sections, but not all. But we still have that energy to task the responsible team from the executive so that they can improve more as we cross-check in every bit of the report that we gave us. First and foremost is that we're still insisting on the internal controls to be made by the respective CSC member and the entire team. Another thing is that strengthening the governance and the framework of how they are going to execute the work that they are delivering. We've seen some improvement on marking of the parking lots, but not all. So those are the things that we are asking them as they clear their report. I stand to support this report fully, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Honorable Mindy, have you seconded the report? Because you've not said it. You've discussed.
I stand to support and second the report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I think also supporting is part of the seconding. I stand to second. Thank you. Thank you for your guidance.
Honorable Maindi, Vice Chair. Your language has to be concise, so we don't have to guess. Now, honorable members, I now propose that this House adopts the report of the Public Accounts Committee on report of the Auditor General on receiver of revenue statements for the year ended 30th June 2023, County Government of Nandi, laid on the table of the House on 17 June 2026, be discussed. Okay, then silence means the whip, okay, whip.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand to support this report led by Honorable Majani and the entire team on Public Accounts Committee on the work that they've done, though my concern, Honorable Speaker, is the time of bringing this report to the House, Honorable Speaker. I think I request the same committee to actually improve on the times that they deliver on these reports, because actually they need to confirm to us what makes it difficult to bring these reports earlier, because it should be done promptly to ensure that services are achieved earlier. As you can observe, Honorable Speaker, you realize the same committee gives recommendations, and they say it should be implemented within 60 days. And the report is way back, say 2 years ago. No, that one again brings confusion. But nevertheless, we support to ensure that the same is implemented. We might get further information from the chair what really derails them, so that we can chip in and support where possible to ensure that these reports come earlier. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The right of reply, Chair, so that before I put the question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. You know, the Committee of PAC is actually a procedural committee, and this Auditor General report, we don't generate it from here. The Auditor report is generated from the Kenya Audit General, which they have to wait for the year to end, and then once the year closes, like for example, this
for clarity, I think for clarity, so that you can clarify, do you have a report for the year ended 30th June, for example, 30th June 2025? Do you have that one?
Honorable Speaker, we don't have that one. We have for 2024, 30th June 2024. So we are waiting for 2025 and then 2026.
So that is your latest?
Correct.
Okay.
And will be tabled in this House.
All right.
So once we are done with this, it's also in line to be tabled in this House for 2025.
Okay, proceed, Chairman.
So again, these recommendations is just a procedure that needs to be taken. So the report needs to come from the Auditor General first. Once they have reviewed reviewed the statements from the financial statements from the county or from the entity that is being audited, for them to bring us a report, it takes time. Then for us to come in, read the report, because it's more financial, read the report, get the right people to advise us, and then call the Auditor General and the executive or the people being audited to sit down with them to do a meeting, and then for us to do a report. Honorable Speaker, since he's the whip, I want to recommend for him that the PAC committee to be given money on the side for report writing, which when they can go report writing by themselves, they can be able to work on this report. It takes time to do numbers. It takes time to look at the numbers and verify bank accounts.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Which standing order are you rising on?
I'm rising on standing order number 90, Honorable Speaker. Could the chairman clarify or substantiate when he says that some money should be put on the side for this committee, yet he knows that all committees in this house are facilitated? Is he insinuating that committees are not facilitated right now?
Honorable Chair, are you
Honorable
constrained in any way?
Honorable Speaker, understanding is very different. You can tell somebody something and he understands something different. I was just requesting through the whip that if our committee can request more money, he's the chair of also of a committee, he can request more money for the committee. I'm requesting more money for my committee so I can do my work effectively. I don't think that is even wrong to ask through the whip. I was just requesting because it's more time for us to do this work. I was requesting so that we can have more clerks and more.
I think it is, you are clear, proceed.
Thank you very
Wind
much.
up.
Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the House to adopt this report and to ensure that this, the implementation is done. Thank you.
Now, honorable members, I now put the question that this House adopts the report of the Public Accounts Committee on report of the Auditor General on receiver of revenue statements for the year ended 30th June 2023, County Government of Nandi, laid on the table of the House on 17th June 2026. Will those of similar opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will those of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 10, adjournment.
Honorable members, there being no prayer on order paper, the House stands adjourned until this afternoon at 2:30 p.m.